right here today, yesterday ended the limited voter registration exercise for 21 days of registration, and an extra 2 days. There are calls again for the Electoral Commission to further extend the limited registration period to capture those who could not register before the closing day yesterday. Now, scores of prospective voters were seen at the registration centers late yesterday as the exercise wrapped up. Now, this afternoon, we're going to have our own version of Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting in the studio. We have the Electoral Commission and the political parties here to do a post-mortem of the exercise. Before that, though, here's how my colleagues, Rejoice Semifab and Anabachi Adam, captured the closing minutes of the registration in Accra and Kumasi, respectively.
Long winding queues characterized the final day of the voter registration process at many centers as first-time voters rushed to get their names captured in the voters' register. In the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, officials reported registering over 5,000 voters over the entire registration period.
Over here in Legon, it's been largely successful. The turnout has been good, and then we've been able to register almost everybody that has come to us. So today being the last day, we hope that we'll register everybody and leave. We know that we can do that day. For the projection, I can't give it to you online, but for now, we've done about 5,000. Yeah, yes. But most of them, since the first day, the turnout has been great. So mostly when they come and the place is full, they don't want to sit in the queue, they would go.
Just nearby at the La Nkwantanan Medina Constituency Registration Center, there were altercations involving some men who brought in senior high school students for registration. Despite these challenges, the EC official stated that the exercise had been largely successful, promising every person in the queue before the official time of closing will be registered even if it goes beyond past 6 p.m.
It's been a fruitful exercise. It's been very quiet and calm. A few altercations here and there, but it's not something that's disturbed the flow of work here at the center. We are within our expected figure. We were hoping to do a little over 4,000, and we have a little after 12 midday, but I can say that we'll be able to attend to them before 6 p.m. when the center will be closed finally.
Many potential first-time voters at the University of Ghana Center said they had to forgo lectures to register. Similarly, senior high school students reported skipping classes to enroll on the voters' register.
I knew that, I had to come and register today because today was actually the deadline. But I would, urge that the EC at least extend the deadline again, because there are more people out there that haven't registered, especially looking at the diaspora. There are even more people there that do not even know that there is an ongoing process at Legon Hall. So I think that good sensitization would do so that these people can actually come and register.
So I was aware of the 21 days, but then I've had a busy schedule being in between classes and such. So today is the day that I'm free that I'll be able to come and partake in the registration for the voters ID.
Because of the school, I'm a boarder, so I was not that allowed to be coming out, and I didn't know any place to do my voters ID. That's the main reason why. I'll wait for the next time.
Meanwhile, MP for Ayawaso West Wogon, Lydia Al-Hassan, and Medina MP Francis Xavier Sosu appealed to the EC to make special provisions for first-time voters who might miss the deadline.
From day one, it's been peaceful, it's been orderly. Yes, we all know what happened the first, second day, but after that, we have had quite a successful process. It's just that the numbers here are many. We are talking about a student population of over 40,000. Most of them are first-time voters. Look at the last day, look at the numbers, and it's been like this from day one. Some sort of a different arrangement is made for us. We have a population of over 40,000, so for me, that is my concern.
Here in Medina, things have been relatively smooth, so we have a few challenges. But as of yesterday, we had a total of about 3,692 that has registered. Today, you can see the numbers. There the day is far gone, but the numbers are still increasing, and most of them are students and first-time voters. So we are in talks with the officials of the EC that even if the day ends without them getting the opportunity, whether we either give them some number or we extend the number of hours, they'll be able to stay so we can get everyone here registered before the day is over.
These potential voters are hopeful of exercising their constitutional right in the 2024 general elections and making a difference as they defied the hot sun, stayed in queues, all in a bid to get their identity captured on the National Voters Roll. Rejoice Semefakpesu's report, read to you.
The limited voter registration exercise ongoing for first-time voters comes to an end today here at the Ashanti Regional EC head office, housing about 4 constituencies, including Inshaeso, Menchia South, Menchia North, and Bantama. A number of first-time voters trooped in to participate in the registration exercise. Participants from various schools, including Kumasi Girls Secondary School and the Kumasi Secondary Technical School and the Pokuari School, came in to participate in the registration exercise. Well, there have been several allegations leveled against each other by some political party agents.
All right, yeah, you welcome back to the studio. This is the pulse, and of course in the studio, the discussion already underway here in the studio. My guests are already having fun. We're going to have our own version of the IPAC meeting this afternoon. Now, joining me here in the studio is Dr. Sribo Kweku, Director of Electoral Services with the Electoral Commission. Evans Nemakum of the MPP will join us via Zoom. He's the Director of Elections with the MPP. Akufo-Addo is founder of the LPG, and of course, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbamdi, also in the studio. Gentlemen, you're welcome. Thank you. So, Dr. Kweku, so let me ask of your sum up. In the last 21 days, you added 2 more. So, in the last 23 days, you've been out and about registering people 18 and above. You ended the exercise yesterday. How will you sum it up for us?
What I would say is that, but for the first 2 days, I would say that the exercise would have been very seamless. But even though we had challenges in the first 2 days, we added 2 days to that. And I've been saying that this number that we were looking at could have been registered within 1 week. So we have given enough time for them to register. We peaked around 60,000 a day. Then we came down for the last 5 days around 20,000, meaning that the numbers were almost exhausted. But I was surprised to see.
Yes, people are asking for extended an extension of the exercise.
If we extend it to 7 December, still there will be a call for extension.
So the door is closed for now.
It's closed for now, but yesterday at the APAC meeting, discussions are going on that we may have to do mop-up, so the commission will come out with final decision on that.
Mop-up means open the space for people to still register?
Exactly. We will do that, but not now, maybe in the next 2 months or so.
Provisionally, do you have an idea how many people you've registered?
I don't have the figures for today because it's being compiled.
Exactly.
Yes, but if you can go and say that.
I'll go around and come back. So let me also pick the talks of, let me start with Akufo-Addo, founder of the LPG. Kofi, you also monitored. How will you describe the exercise that ended yesterday?
I would say we had a very successful registration exercise. Everything went fine. The only problem we had was the first 2 days when there were some bottlenecks here and there. But after that, everything has gone smoothly. And the DRC have also worked very well in their communities. When there was a challenge or something like that, they will meet and discuss, especially Nandoli constituency, where we had about 70 people who were challenged.
Right.
Yeah, they challenged 70 people, and they had to it's like rejected
the registration.
Yes.
Are you referring to those who were deemed to have used fake Ghana card numbers to register?
No, actually.
That one was Pussy.
That was Pussy, right?
Yes. Nandoli, yeah, because they were Fulanis.
Okay.
About 70 Fulanis. They went there to register.
You mean foreigners?
Yeah, foreigners. Specifically Fulanis. So, and they have to reject this thing, the DRC.
Okay.
Net. And you know the DRC, the District Registration Review Committee.
Exactly.
They comprises the political parties, the district education officer, the district commander, and then the EC and other people, you know, the chiefs from that community. So they sat and they realized that the people were not coming from the community. They don't know them from anywhere in the community, and they couldn't even speak their local language and the rest. So they have to let them go.
We'll look at all those issues because a lot of these challenges came up. I mean, I know the Electoral Commission, they are investigating thousands of people, the registration and all that. But let me pick Mustafa's initial comments on the matter.
Thank you very much. I think basically, by and large, I'm grateful that the Commission, as of yesterday's IPAC, is giving some hearing or some listenership to the fact that there are still some numbers to mop up. It's apparent because we can understand that in the beginning of the exercise, I believe that it was more than 2 days, we encountered a series of challenges, except that the challenges were different. First day we had different issues, and then up to 3 days we had different other issues. Apart from that, I think we must commend the numerous Ghanaians who have queued to participate in this exercise. Quite apart from the fact that the Electoral Commission's own procedures or arrangements for these registration is quite cumbersome, quite unincentivizing and discouraging. That is why we believe that the Electoral Commission has a suppression agenda. Because if...
A suppression agenda?
Yeah.
Against who?
If the registration process becomes very cumbersome for Ghanaians, then a Ghanaian will have to ask himself, why do I have to sit at a registration center or travel all this while to a capital to go and register?
2 days challenges out of 23, and you describe it as cumbersome.
Here, I'm talking about proximity. I'm talking about proximity in terms of where the people come from to come and register at a particular center, quite apart from the fact that they created some hard-to-reach areas. I mean, it was not adequate. But I think that basically we must commend also the various district officers of the Electoral Commission, who some of them, a lot of them have been very professional, very cooperative with the political parties, even though the Electoral Commission have now turned the political parties as major actors who are carrying out the registration exercise, because we would have to buzz people to go to the registration centers because of poor or limited accessibility. So MPP, NDC, CPP, we are now doing the buzzing of people.
But that can never be the responsibility of the Electoral Commission.
Well, if you create adequate accessibility where registration is decentralized to the people, then MPP doesn't have to worry itself. NDC doesn't have to worry itself. So that's the dilemma we find ourselves, which we must be looking at in future and
going forward.
Subsequent.
They're supposed to be your initial comments.
Yes, but apart from that, I also think that the Commission itself, even though we hold our high reservations about the competence, the professionalism, and the willingness of the Commission to work with the political parties in order to attract credibility to them. So we have to commend them,
of course,
that by and large, the exercise have been very successful, apart from some difficulties, some altercations that we had. I think it's normal of the game. We must commend them for it, apart from the fact that we hold Electoral Commission accountable to the missing BVR machines. And then
we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Your other colleague on the other side of the political, Evans Nemakum, Director of Elections with the MP, also joins via Zoom. Evans, good afternoon and welcome. I will just pick your initial talks on how the limited registration exercise went as far as the MPP is concerned.
To commend the EC, my brother.
Headquarters there.
Evans, if you can hear me.
Colleagues at the studio.
Yes, please go on.
As usual of the NDC.
Yes, please go on.
I'm saying as usual of the NDC. Good afternoon. I'm saying as usual of the NDC, they would never stop disappointing their base. But Mustafa, if the NDC is organizing and buzzing people, that is up to you. The New Patriotic Party has never been in this business, buzzing people to registration centers. All that we've been doing and our agents have been doing is to monitor the exercise from day one. We all admit that the first 2 days there were some challenges. So we were not surprised the EC extended the exercise by additional 2 days. We are also aware, and from the discussions we've had at the IPAC, EC intends to do a mop-up to ensure that all those who are eligible will be able to have their names onto the electoral roll. But some of the challenges we encountered in this exercise has to do with people who are not eligible trying to get their names onto the electoral roll, mainly minors and non-Ghanaians. And this is the main reason why the New Patriotic Party supported the EC to lay a new CI that will ensure that people who are eligible to register will identify themselves by the use of the Ghana card. Strangely and interestingly, the NDC said no. And so we've recorded over 12,000 people who are being challenged as a result of either being a minor or being non-Ghanaian. And if we had agreed and supported the EC to have come up with a new CI that would have used the Ghana card as means of identification, all these challenges would have been a thing of the past. I think going forward, we must, as stakeholders, ensure that we comply with the rules of the game. And registration is registration. Becoming a voter is legitimate right of the citizen, and nothing must stop anybody from getting his or her name onto the electoral roll. But because of the mischief of the NDC, we've had to monitor this exercise and go through these challenges.
Right, so my understanding is that after the IPAC meeting, going forward, all the parties agreed with the Electoral Commission that there should be a new CI that will recognize only the Ghana card as the sole means of identification in future registration exercises.
That has always been the position of the New Patriotic Party, that as much as possible, let's have a system that will ensure that you have a register that is clean, that has people who are really qualified to be on the electoral roll, and not to have a United Nations register for Ghana. And that's been the position of the New Patriotic Party.
All right, so Evans, you hold it for me there. Let me bring in Dr. Sherwan. So, Doctor, how did we do after 23 days of registration in terms of the figures?
Yeah, I think I don't have yesterday's one. But provisionally, we registered 700.
This is up to what day?
As at the 22nd day.
Okay.
So it's only yesterday.
Just say that is outstanding.
We had then registered provisionally 747,715.
747,000.
715.
Are you closer or you've exceeded the target?
The target was 623,000. So we've gone beyond that by 4 days, almost 100,000.
More?
Yes, more than, because 623 against 743, more than 100,000.
And that for you is impressive, isn't it?
It's not that being impressive on that, but with the quality of the names. If the parties themselves are fighting over registration of minors, foreigners, and the rest, means that we have a lot of work to do to screen the register, which we are going to start from.
And the last time we spoke, last week when we were here, you told us that over 9,000 people were being investigated.
Yes.
Has the number gone up or is it still the same?
Now it's around 12,000.
Now it's around 12,000. Yes. And this relates to who? Those who, in terms of the qualification aspect?
They were challenging the cost of registering on ground that they were not 18 years, they were not Ghanaians, or they were not residing in the district they were claiming to be.
So when are you going to sit on these cases?
They have started sitting on them. So we are hoping that probably by next week they should have finished. Even some of the districts may finish today or tomorrow. As and when they are challenged, they are adjudicated on. And the irony of it is that it's within the powers of the political parties themselves. They are part of the team. And there are instances they have to vote on whether to disqualify or not to disqualify. But I'm thinking that this one should be very clear. If the person doesn't produce evidence that he's 18 years, why should we be voting on that? But still, the parties, our programs, and they will end up accusing us that we didn't do a good job. Because the basin, that is the result of the basin. If the individual is going on his own volition, it will be difficult for somebody who is not 18 to go Voluntarily. But if they are being biased, they know that nobody is behind them. And that is a challenge.
And then after this investigation, what happened to them?
The committee's duty...
If it is established that they violated the law.
The committee's duty is only to establish whether they are qualified or not. The rest is for the commission to decide to prosecute or not to prosecute.
Mustafa, why would you take people who are under 18 to a registration center to be registered?
Well, I think that basically my party didn't sanction minors and foreigners to be, moved or facilitated to registration centers. And if there are such cases, I believe that is why the commission has a mandate to clean up the register. And so that should be done only in a manner that is credible and transparent, so that they don't end up deleting even people who are not, minors or foreigners. That is the only challenge I have. I'm
13,000 people.
I'm surprised that my brother Nemaku is denying that political parties have not passed. And that is, MPP makes it very difficult for honesty to prevail. Political parties actually facilitated our parliamentary candidates to do bursary, because virtually the economy is hard, people don't have money, they cannot travel the distance. So parliamentary candidates of all political parties were involved and engaged in moving these people. The MPP said they were not. We did. We did.
And it's the reason why we are recording so many minors.
No, minors would have occasioned anyway. That is why we have a window. And the Electoral Commission are the gatekeepers.
And so you support the cleaning up of the exercise?
No, I support that. I'm just saying that we should do it in a manner that does not end up removing other people who, though they are qualified, their names cannot be found. 2020, we had a similar issue where people who were not minors, they were not foreigners. In the process of cleaning the register, it ended up that we deleted their names, and that was supposed to be coming from certain strongholds of the NDC. If we do it in a way that is transparent, it's credible, it has the involvement of all political parties, like you said, except that just this afternoon I saw the letter they wrote asking for the nomination of reps.
Right.
They wrote the letter on the 30th.
That was an adjudication. There are two different things.
The letter was written on the 30th or 27th. Action was supposed to be taken on 29th. The NDC received the letter on the 30th.
Today.
And the distance between NDC's headquarters and the commission is 5 minutes. So when you have to encounter these things, then you ask yourself, is it administrative incompetence or is deliberately to hold back the NDC's involvement? We have transfers today, right? Yesterday's IPAC, it was agreed that agents will be represented. Am I lying? But you have some Electoral Commission officers at the district level denying flatly that agents are not supposed to be there. Police commanders getting involved. Why didn't the commission send notices?
This is the mediation meetings, right?
No, I'm just saying that these are the challenges that we have. What the Electoral Commission does, that brings out the communications and all the rancor that we have.
But once he's here, maybe I'll allow him. Dr. Sobo, do you have a response on this claim of first not giving them the communication on time, and also your district officers preventing reps from the political party from being part of this meeting?
I understand maybe he doesn't understand how the process works. We are talking of the adjudication. The adjudication team will go into the system, pull out all the names of people the system has flagged.
Correct.
Then when they have come with their report, then the education committee will be sitting on.
Right.
The committee can never sit this week, because even the education team is here to start work. So when the letters were sent to all we are working with 5 political parties, 3 SOs, 3 CSOs, and the Electoral Commission. All the letters went yesterday. The education team is made up of Electoral Commission staff.
Right.
They will go into the database and fish out the suspected multiple registrants. Then the committee will now look at it and judge whether they are genuine or there were errors and everything.
All right.
That will start work.
I was speaking to the language of their own letter.
But we are planning to do the inauguration tomorrow.
So we are not even there yet, Mustafa.
We are planning to do the inauguration tomorrow. So it's after inauguration that
the meeting will be set.
Yes. And we'll do that for every...
So what about your directors and police commanders you know.
Police command, they are not
driving. No. So the report we have. As
you are talking of the agents?
Yes, police commanders and your directors at the district level. Some of them
are preventing from the
preventing.
But again, he says that the inauguration is even tomorrow, so the meeting has not even started.
Whichever way it is, we are being vigilant. What is the business of a police commander when you haven't received instruction from the headquarters to drive to a transfer center and say agents cannot be there?
This is the message I sent when I got the video.
Okay. So the point is that until the inauguration is done and the meeting starts, I mean, you may have concerns or rights, but I don't think we are there yet.
Yes.
I don't think we are there. But you've been listening, Mr. Palu. What do you make of this? I don't know whether your party was also involved in the basing of people who are not qualified, but want them to qualify at all costs.
Oh no, it's something that we will never do. We don't encourage those things because we believe that basing somebody there doesn't mean the person is going to vote
Marco
for you.
is laughing at you.
Yeah, because we will never do such a thing. You see, if you take a person like Akufo-Addo, Addo was a staunch MPP member. Now, look at his stance. Okay? So, basing somebody to go and register doesn't guarantee that the person is going to vote for you. So, why waste that money? Okay? Why waste that money? Because, you see, I don't know why I will waste my money to do those things. I will never do such a thing. And let me also tell you, if you go to people and you campaign to them and you give them reasons why they should vote for you, they will vote for you. So you can buzz the people to go there, but I will go and talk to the person why they should vote for me, and they will vote for me. So I don't see the need to invest my limited resources in that exercise. And I have a problem with the arrangement of the Electoral Commission limiting it to about 1,000 registration centers. In my opinion, I think we should be able to do it in every electoral area.
In the future?
Yes, in every electoral area. When we do it in every electoral area, it will help. Though, instead of spending 21 days, we can even limit it to 10 days. And the exercise will be done and done properly. Because in the electoral area, walking to that place wouldn't be difficult for so many people.
But shouldn't we be proposing continuous registration exercise?
You see,
to register foreigners.
Yeah, that should be the ideal. But looking at the number of people who went to register this time around with guarantee or the guarantor support system, you can see that there were even about 60%. Those who went with the
Ghana
ID,
card,
were less than 40%. And those who went with the passport were about 2% or so. So meaning that we still have chunk of.
But isn't that the reason we're having the issue with even determining the ages of those people? So
it means the National Identification Authority must be up and doing, you know, because you see, we are only interested, those are the National Identification, their interest is on the issuing of the card. To me, I don't think the card is necessary. Okay. What is important is the number. So when you capture the person's data, you should be able to give the person his number. You can even write it with a pen or print it on a sheet of paper. So that should be the concentration. But they are wasting time thinking that they have to get your picture and print something. How will you do something for a 3-year-old or a 1-day-old baby? Okay. But when you are giving numbers, the moment the child is born at the hospital, is issued a number automatically, because the biometrics can be captured any day, any time. You understand? So these are something that they have to, if they seriously want to have this continuous registration carried on, I think that's the best way.
Let me bring in Evans. Evans, you've been listening to your colleagues. I mean, the EC says 13,000, challenges that they will have to deal with, and the inauguration is tomorrow. And then the committee will start to look at it. I mean, regardless of what happens, some may be prosecuted, some will have their names in the electoral roll. What do you make of this, and how supportive is the MPP in this regard? So I think it's frozen. We'll try and re-establish connection with the Evans Nimakon, Director of Elections with the MPP. But again, Mustafa, is that the only concern you have?
No, that so far, for me, as I said, we are a bit happy so far that we finished a successful registration exercise. I mean, Dr. Kweku Srebo have been on shows to and fro, explaining the issues. I am happy that, by and large, we have finished, and we congratulate them. I think we must give them
for the first time
that credit. For the first time, we must give them. But we'll come back to the issue of
how many marks are you giving
the missing.
How many marks are you giving the EC?
Which one?
How many marks? Percentage.
Oh, I think beyond the issue of the missing BVR machines, which we suspect MPP.
You suspect MPP to be behind the missing BVR machine?
I mean, they have something to do about it. But apart from that, I think beyond the errors and all of it, we must commend them. It's not easy being torn between political parties. I mean, we must admit that.
Right.
That when political party interests would have to be attacking you every day to see that you do the right thing. And they have, sometimes to their grounds, except that they haven't accounted for the missing BVR machine. And for him having corrected and stated the position that agents are admitted to the transfer exercise, I think that I'm happy, because this was the difficulty we had in the morning, where police commanders were so in a hurry going to registration centers, transfer centers, and sacking. And I was like, on what authority are you acting? Because the Electoral Commission is the mother body of the entire process. If they haven't issued an instruction, the status quo remain the same until otherwise they state. So once he stated this one, we are certain that we are good to go, and we expect to have more collaboration with the Electoral Commission. I have always been of the view that the Electoral Commission cannot survive on its own without consensus from stakeholders. It needs the buy-in of the public's opinion and support. Political parties supporting it to be, referees of the game. And so once they are able to stand in the middle, and I want to caution Dr. Sribo Kuku that the party in power, the MPP, is power drunk, and they have the tendency of manipulating state institutions.
Right.
So if they don't stand their values and principles, then they will continue to come under scrutiny and attacks from political parties.
Let me bring in Evans again. He wants to now come in. I think the connection is now established. Mr. Demarco.
Hello.
Yes, you welcome back. So I asked you about, the EC said they are investigating 13,000.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, please. The EC is investigating 13,000 applicants. How involved is the MPP in this exercise, so that those who are not supposed to be on the list will be taken out and possibly go through the legal regime?
Well, I couldn't hear you, but if you're asking about the challenge system and all that are in place, the position of the New Patriotic Party is clear. Going into the future, people must register by identifying themselves with the NIA card. It takes away the unnecessary challenges. It is true that if you want to procure the NIA card, you could use the guarantor system. But the Act 750 is very clear that it is only a relative who can guarantee for you. And beyond that, that relative must swear an oath before a commissioner for oath. So that arrangement is more stringent than we have under the EC guarantor system. All these things could be avoided. The Act says that there must be continuous registration. But you see, the EC system, the online is restricted to the district officers. Once you go offline, it also creates an avenue for people to do multiple registration and also allow for all other accesses. And so all these things could be avoided if you all agree. Way back in 2014, before 2016, the New Patriotic Party has said that our register then was bloated and there was the need to clean it up. But NDC said no. But my brother, let me make it clear to Mustafa and viewers. The New Patriotic Party won elections in 2000. Dr. Kojo Afarijan was the EC. We won elections in 2016. Madame Charlotte Osei was the EC. We won elections in 2020. For us, winning elections is not who sits there as the chair or the commissioner for the Electoral Commission. We work at constituencies, we mobilize our base, our polling station executives get to work with the register that we secure from the EC, and we identify voters and reach out to them. We saw our candidate. The experiences we are learning now from the kind of parliament we have is not going to happen after December 7th. Dr. Baumia will win with massive percentage. We'll have maximum percentage overwhelming lead in Parliament to ensure that government business will be promoted rather than to be heckled in this manner. Mustafa and Co. can sit at the studios, buzz people to registration centers, encourage minors to be on the register. We will challenge. But let me also put it on record. Yesterday at IPAC, parties agreed that the transfer system that is starting today, parties will have agents around.
Yeah.
It is for EC to send the official communication to all stakeholders.
You don't have the communication yet?
I'm saying that I've not cited it, but it is for EC to communicate to the security agencies that at IPAC meeting of yesterday, we've agreed that we will have an agent to ensure that anybody who appears before the district officer to apply for transfer would have met the requirement as it is in the CI 127.
Right.
That said, we should be fine. There must be no give and take about this. I think that the CI is clear. But people who are going to go through this must satisfy the criteria as stated in the CI 127.
Mr. Marco, it is absolutely clear that the MPP's confidence in the Electoral Commission is just solid. I mean, and it begs the question. It's like when in power, the relationship is quite flawless, if you like.
Don't get it wrong. I'm saying that whoever sits there as the EC is none of our business. Our business is to ensure that what is spelled out in the CI gets to work, and we monitor it. That is why for every center that there was registration, our agents were there. Strangely, yesterday at the IPAC meeting, NDC said the end of day report, they scan it, and they have all the serial numbers. I had challenged them on your studio that they can never have serial numbers of the BVR kits, but the NDC will say they will have it. For what? I mean, there are things that you need to follow when it comes to elections than to create the unnecessary tension. And I'll continue to say it. When it comes to elections, the New Patriotic Party, they are professors, they are students. They wouldn't understand.
All right, I'll come back to you again on that. But just, okay, Mr. Palu. And then because there's a legitimate question I want to ask Mustafa, which I will allow. Yes.
Because we are starting transfers today. I want to know from the Electoral Commission what they've done, what kind of education that they've given to the voters who want to do the transfer, because somebody must know what they should do.
Exactly.
Where you should go and do the transfer. Does he go back?
The Electoral Commission issue a statement on that, but I'll allow Dr. Sebo to respond to that question.
Yeah, so if you go to the district offices now, you read that the message had gone deep to the ground. The offices are choked with applicants.
Right.
But as we said, the transfer, the prosy, the replacement are all done at the district offices. Because you need to biometrically be checked from the data center. It is the district office that you can have reliable connectivity to do that. So you go there with your ID card. And
where he was, or the new place?
No, you are saying that you were in Kumasi.
Now you are in Accra.
Now in Accra. It will not be prudent for us to say go to Kumasi. So your new place is where you are going to do that.
Exactly.
You go with the voter ID card. You should also go with evidence that actually you have relocated and you have stayed at a new place for no less than 12 months. Once you have that one, and you are a genuinely registered voter,
we'll go through.
You put your fingerprint on, you go through.
There's also the replacement, which is coming at a cost.
Yes. If you were given the card free of charge and you have misplaced it, so you have to pay something to
get the Electoral Commission. But you have a special dispensation for those who are affected by the floods in the voter.
They are not paying anything. But that was not their fault that they lost them. But if you have, and it will interest you to know that there have been instances where somebody will go for replacement at the district office. You will leave the card in the card that he's using, and the next day you come back. And you know, if people don't appreciate the value of even the laminator. The laminator is very expensive. If you look at it, so you need to pay something to offset the cost
to get that done.
And once you pay for something, you take good care of it.
All right. Mustafa, I mean, before the limited voter registration, we had a lot of concerns with the Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
Now you are sitting here and commending them. Is it to suggest that perhaps some of your criticism were misplaced?
No.
You thought the EC were up to some mischief,
No.
but the way the exercise went sort of diffused whatever challenges you had with the operations of the Electoral Commission. That's to sit today and commend them for the work they've done so far.
No, I disagree because when BVR machines are missing and cannot be found,
some people are the police is investigating this matter.
No. It is before court. It is.
Exactly. So
I have always said that the police was created by law to look for substances that contribute to criminal offenses. We are more interested in the administrative accountability and stock taking of these machines so that we can all come to a position where we know machines that have been stolen out of machines that we have. Then we can be sure that nobody will bypass the system and then use those machines for anything. I'm not saying that someone has the machine or someone doesn't have it, but once we lock the system, nobody can be able to do. Number two, the Electoral Commission recruited returning officers illegally. We've stated that publicly.
How?
They were supposed to have
advertised
even when they have compiled their proposed nominees, they were supposed to have sent copies of same to political parties for their objection or
their
otherwise.
details.
They didn't do that, and he would tell.
Are you referring to the registration officers or return officers?
You use the returning officers for the registration exercise. That was what the commissioner said in her press conference.
Okay, let me explain.
Yes.
You see, if you sit here and say that we were not given the list, then I will say that you are not being truthful. Because the law said that we should give them 14 days to the exercise.
And they were given?
We couldn't meet the 14-day deadline.
Voila.
But they met at the DAPAC meetings before the registration, and they were given.
Yeah,
and they were not given to you at the national level. But the work is being done at the district offices. So you yourself, you have the members at the DAPAC. Those who were.
It is not absolutely true.
You agree that
they didn't have the details.
You agree that was in violation of what the law says. So we are sticking to the law.
The 14-day period.
The 14 days.
But so you tell us that.
But you had it eventually.
No, of course we'll have a way of having it, but it is a violation of the law.
Not a way. You had it from the EC.
From the EC.
It's a violation of the law. We cannot violate the law.
See, what I want you to say is that we got it, but we did not get it the time maybe you were looking for. That will have no qualms. But if you say that you were not given...
You didn't follow the law. The commission didn't follow the law.
But you have it.
If you had followed the law, you would have had it on time.
But you had it before.
Of course, but through a violation of the law. That is what we are talking about. Okay. So will you violate another law in declaration of results?
Mr. Let me explain certain things to you. Yes, even the law itself was promulgated by the Electoral Commission.
Correct.
But some of them, I myself think that we have...
stretched some of them on yourselves.
Yes, because you see, we are dealing with political parties and we know you very well. We normally do training close to the exercise. We have never finished training more than 2 weeks before an exercise because of the possibility of somebody falling under. So we normally finish registration training the week to the exercise. Now, if we have been given the list before training, and we finish the training, and some people have dropped out, and we go with different
lists to do replacement.
You are the very people who come and say that we have given you different lists, and so we said that fine. Let's finish with the training so that we are sure of the people we are using. Then we give them.
But the law says 14 days.
Yeah.
So if you have difficulty with it, then we have to find a way to amend it.
Let's go back and change the law.
Yes, but this is the case. We wanted to amend the law. You said that you.
No, the law had certain which the
Mr.
president have noted that even with this current registration, about 60 to 70% of the people who registered use the guarantor system. So if you were asking for Ghana card as a sole document, without the fault of Ghanaians, without the fault of the commission, would have disenfranchised all these people.
Isn't it also possible that some of these 60 to 70 people
have the
Ghana card but still refuse to use it?
You see, let me give
you cannot speculate.
Okay.
No, it's not self-speculation.
I understand.
There are people we encounter them, and they will tell you that they were in the market, they were somewhere, and somebody came and buzzed them to the place, so they couldn't go home. So all some of these things
those are sampled views, but the major issue, the substantive matter is that even when we started Ghana card, there was COVID. So we agree that a lot of people could not have registered. Even now, when you go to NIA office, it's choked more than the Electoral Commission. So I'm just saying, without the fault of the Electoral Commission, without the fault of Ghanaians, we would have disenfranchised a lot of Ghanaians. So we must agree with that simplicity. Beyond that, I'm just saying that we don't have, NDC does not have any problem
with the Electoral Commission
to antagonize the Electoral Commission without basis. Because in any case, they would declare us as winners of the 2024 election. That one, if Ghanaians vote for the NDC, we will be declared as winners of that election. And I'm just saying that we should put systems in place so that the election will reflect the will of the people, so that the Electoral Commission in its solemn mandate to declare who Ghanaians have chosen. That is what we want.
Do you have the serial numbers of the BVR machines that
we do have?
And
Dr. Kweku will tell you that we don't have, but we have. But we have. And we are in
and I just want to find out, I mean, I'm sure you use the serial numbers to track the exercise.
In our own way, we are using it to track, but it will be easier.
Is it different from what the EC is reporting?
No, it's different.
It's different. Very different. The discrepancies.
That will tell you. The list that they are giving end of day, start of day, and they have nothing at all to do with the serial numbers.
You insist that they don't have it.
So if
you are simply telling us that somebody, those who stole the BVR machines, would have used them.
No.
In this registration.
Nobody has stolen BVR machine. Nobody has stolen BVR machine. There's a difference between... No, please. There's a difference between the BVR...
If I'll come to you in a jiffy, I'll allow Mr. Akufo-Addo to come in, and I'll give you the opportunity to speak.
There's a difference between the BVR kit and the laptop in the BVR kit. They're two different issues.
Okay.
You understand? So if you pick the laptop, you have not stolen the BVR.
Of course.
The kit is made up of the laptop, the fingerprint scanner, the printer, the camera, and but a lot of things inside.
So the laptop, which one stores the data?
It's the server.
Once you do it...
I mean, the laptop doesn't store data?
Not all.
It's a workstation.
For example, all the registrations that we have done, they are done and they are done. So immediately we finish, within the next week, we'll do the end of life. And then we'll take away all the time. They will come back to manufacturer's status.
But if
don't keep them.
If you had started a transparent process of us doing an inquiry or trying to do an accounting into
establish how the...
once somebody sees...
you would have...
Once somebody...
The police is an independent body. Why don't you allow the police to finish it work? Some people are in court, the court will pronounce judgment on it, and then all of us
the police won't give you that.
The police won't give you that.
No, they can't. It's not their mandate.
So once somebody comes to see this laptop, where do you go?
The police are now auditors.
Okay, Mr. Akufo-Addo, I mean, you've been listening to what you have to say, and then I can bring in Evans Nimako.
What are they going to do? The police will do audit.
My brother,
Mustafa,
stealing the BVD or whatever,
the laptop.
Yeah, if they don't give you access to their central database.
Who give you the access?
No, I'm coming. With the equipment, even if you have all of them,
yes.
If you don't have access to the server,
yes.
Everything that they're going to do will be meaningless.
But somebody must provide the access.
Somebody must give the access.
So it means there will be
so if you give you access, why do we steal it? If the Electoral Commission wants to use the machine to do legal registration, the machines are with us. Why do we steal it?
It's not you who do it. It's a political party that will perpetrate it. With aid from the Electoral Commission.
So you see, and then you remember, every system has a trail, an audit trail. So at any point in time, when you log on to the system, you'll be recorded. So nobody will be able to do what you are suggesting.
So you are okay with the state of the machines?
Yeah, nobody can add any.
He himself, he knows. He knows the truth. He himself, he knows.
Yeah. Mr. Evans Nimako, you've been yearning to add to the discussion. Please go on.
Okay, so thank you. Student Mustafa.
He's coming to attack me, you see? MPP is like that.
Yes, please go on.
You see, when this whole registration exercise commenced, BVRs allocated to registration centers without activation codes could not work.
We know that.
It accounted for the day one, day two challenges. A laptop component of the BVR, I still do not understand why NDC is making huge and cry about this. But that is NDC. Moving on. I'll crave your indulgence. There are more serious issues to be considered.
Like what, for example?
There are people who registered under the guarantor system. We are not able to tell whether these people already have NI card or otherwise. In yesterday's discussion at IPAC, we said that there must be enough support to NIA to cover all those who are supposed to be covered under the Act, so that in an event of using the NIA as a means of identification and registration, nobody will be disenfranchised. But my brother, if today Mustafa will have to travel to Togo tomorrow and he requires the use of passport, he will rush to passport office to secure one. But because under the existing Act, there's an opportunity for a guarantor arrangement. That is why even people who may have had NIA will still use the guarantor arrangement. But we are seeing the challenges there, and we are seeing that all these are avoidable. I think that we've had a successful 21, 23-day exercise. The understanding we've gotten as a party from EC is that there will be a mop-up. What is required of them is to ensure that all who are qualified under the law be given the opportunity to do so. That on the day of reckoning, December 7, 2024, they will turn out massively to vote for a forward-looking presidential candidate, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Give New Patriotic Party seats overwhelmingly enough in Parliament to ensure that government business will be facilitated so that Ghana will develop. We cannot continue to entertain this posture from NDC. Whether you like it or not, they won't change. And so for us, we've learned a lot in this exercise. We will continue to offer the necessary advice to EC at the IPAC platform to ensure that our multi-party democracy will grow. I appreciate what you are doing, bringing all stakeholders together to discuss our views on the way forward, looking at the challenges we've gone through, learn from the positives, so that we can have a system that is foolproof and have all who are qualified to be on the electoral roll. I think what they said, we should be fine. But
and you don't have any issue whether you have the serial numbers or not.
But you see, you want to have serial numbers. Going into this exercise, one issue was clear. Registration will be conducted in all the 268 district offices. Additional difficult to reach 775 have been identified.
785.
Additional 25 tertiary institutions have been identified, adding up to 800. All these were gazetted. New Patriotic Party made sure that our agents were stationed in all these places. Even the mobile ones, we followed them. So if you want serial number to do at the end of this exercise, and even while the registration was ongoing, we were giving end of day reports. At the end of this whole exercise, EC is bound by law to give to us as political party provisional register. There's also going to be exhibition of the register in all polling stations. We may object issues where we have to. Beyond that, the final register will be given to us as a political party, and we work with it. And so if today NDC will come to IPAC and say, when are you doing purification of the register? We started discussing cleaning of the register way back in 2013, after 2012 elections. And we saw what Madam Charlotte said. And so for NDC and student Mustafa, they won't change.
Evans, thank you so much. I'll come back for your final wrap on this matter. But again, let me go around the table again, start with Mustafa. I mean, the limited registration is over, but there are a lot more that the EC will have to do. Yeah. Controversial issues are about to come up. It's good that you are now fully participating in the IPAC meeting. Yeah. There appears to have been lowering of the tension that existed between you and the electoral college, perhaps because of how discussions are ongoing. What will be your expectation of the EC as we move into the more, controversial issues?
Well, I think that the EC itself would have to appreciate the issues that are being raised. Political parties will always have concerns, and those concerns will have to be addressed. That is why we have IPAC. I think if we attend frequent IPAC and EC comes with the full willingness, the openness, transparency to address concerns raised by political parties, then we are in the position to help the electoral commission. Why not? I mean, this is the body that regulates our elections. By and large, this is the same body that will have to announce the winner of the election. We only expect that that body should be devoid of political influences. We expect that that body will be more responsible, more professional, to uphold integrity, the highest standard of integrity.
Where do you draw the line? Where the political parties, they may have proposals, but the EC is an independent body, and they have every right to say that we reject your proposal and we are going with what we think is the best for the country.
I've always said that the Electoral Commission as a body has been given limited or no discretion. It's regulated strictly by law.
Right.
There's minimal room for anybody to apply discretion. And so when it comes to issues of the Electoral Commission, it's only about engagement, making sure that political parties are notified and part of the conversation. But no political party should be able to change the position of a firm Electoral Commission if the Electoral Commission's decision is lawful and taken within the rudiments of the law. I've just pointed out to you, and he agrees that even in appointments of the returning officer, he agrees that the law may be a bad law, but that is the law we have. And he agreed that they fell short of the law. When this happens, political parties should be adequately informed as to why the commission has fallen short. Then I think that it reduces the suspicion, it reduces the rancor, it gives room to build more trust as we go into.
But from experience and having monitored elections in Ghana since 1992, do you absolutely think that the Electoral Commission can influence the outcome of an election?
I am too young to doubt that. And I am learning as a student, a young politician.
So Evans was rather you're a student?
No, I don't know it all. There are other seniors
ahead of you
on whose behalf I sit here to talk.
Right.
There are other people who have experienced elections more than I have. And so that is why I'm saying that I'm too young to come to a conclusion that the Electoral Commission cannot rig an election. It is very possible.
Of what you've seen and how the process, how the process is done in this country.
If we don't have transparent processes, if we don't have credible processes, you can announce a result that is a true reflection of what happened. But because of lack of trust, you haven't built credibility for the institution itself, then you find yourself in a problem. Even though you have announced a true reflection of what it is. The Electoral Commission should be minded to build credibility, build consensus, have the support of the media, have the support of the people who are going to vote, have the support of the political parties. I think that is not a difficult thing to do.
All right.
If you fall short of the law, let the political parties be adequately informed. Nobody will come out and say that we're not told.
Mr. Palu, do you think that sometimes you political parties, you blow hot and cold at the same time, depending on how the matter suits you?
Come again.
I'm asking whether sometimes you political parties, you blow hot and cold at the same time. I mean, depending on the kind of relationship or what the Electoral Commission is doing, whether it suits you or not.
Unfortunately, it's MPP and NDs who does that. We, LPG, we don't do those things. We say as it is. You know, prior to 2012, if you tell me somebody can rig an election, I won't doubt you. But after 2012, up to date, if you tell me the Electoral Commission will steal your votes for somebody, then it means you are not following the process.
That suggests that before 2012, elections were manipulated?
Yes, could be manipulated. You see, prior to 2012, there wasn't anything like biometric. So somebody can claim that, oh, I went to this police station and I voted twice, I voted whatever, many times. But this time, after 2012, I don't know whether you have heard single person saying that, oh, I went to this police station and I voted more than once. Oh, it's not possible. You see, these days it's very difficult to go and vote more than one. But before 2012, it was possible. Now, from 2012 to date, every political party that is serious with the election will definitely send an agent to a police station to monitor what is going on.
Right.
And then you can't just send a macho man to go to a police station. You have to send somebody who's knowledgeable. But some political parties may decide to send macho men just to go and create confusion. But if you send knowledgeable men and women to go and supervise your elections, you will educate them for them to know what is expected of them. Okay, we have this pink sheet. You should know what is on the pink sheet. So if you know, you understand it perfectly well, it will be difficult for somebody to shortchange you. Because even before they pour out the ballot papers, they have to give us a report from the
statement of the poll.
Yes, how many people have gone to cast their vote. So when they pour this thing out, the ballot papers, you should know the number you should expect. So if you follow all this trend, there is no way somebody. The last thing is that when they are entering the figures on the pink sheet, that is where you have to be more vigilant.
Right.
Because you can get 300, and the person writing the 300 mistakenly
makes it 30,000.
Can make it 30. Okay? Not deliberate, but human beings as we are. That is why when you go to the bank and you deposit with the bank, they give you a paying slip. And then they expect that when you get your bank statement, you do a reconciliation. So you have to be vigilant that the numbers that they are writing for everybody is the exact numbers
that is going on the pink sheet.
Other than that,
and when they finish, you will sign a pink sheet and take copy.
I take copy. So when you get a copy, you go to your small office and do your own tabulation. So you'll be able to know what each candidate got. But you know, look at what happened at Techiman's house. Somebody went there and got himself into whatever, you know, because of small misunderstanding. You see, the same thing happened at Senate West. You see, the gentleman there, the NDC man there, he was shortchanged. But he didn't take the law into his own hands. What he did, he went to court. And when they went to court at Techiman High Court, after everything, they realized that he won.
Right.
So they gave it to the NDC man. Why is that the one at Techiman, Senate West?
No, what happened was that there was one outstanding polling station that they were contesting.
Right.
So they already said that they should go and count that. It's not anybody was searching.
Yeah.
But that result made the difference.
Okay.
Okay, fine. But you see, things were done amicably. You know, but why should we lose life?
In those circumstances. But again, and then, so based on that premise, let me ask Dr. Sebo. So the EC, exists to operate in a very transparent and, you know, with fairness, with high level of integrity. But the EC is also made up of human beings. Whose integrity sometimes you cannot guarantee.
Exactly.
And so how do you put yourself in an environment where so much is expected of you that we're able to live up to expectation?
You see, like what we are saying, there are instances that the very people that we will recruit may go there and do issues contrary to what.
Yeah, there's been precedent. I mean, are there just so something happened?
Even I myself, it's because of the media they didn't pick, or I didn't complain. I went to one polling station, and the one who was telling the ballot paper was telling and leaving the serial numbers on the counterfoil. So I said, so if there's any issue, how do you trace this ballot paper? Somebody who has been, and he said, oh, sir, I didn't see.
But this person went through training.
I didn't see. I said, if you need spectacle, you need to get to a spectacle before you come here. So some of them will go to the field and do issues contrary. And that is why we go out to monitor. That's why the party agents themselves are also there to also do. And transparency that you are talking of, from the printing to the declaration, we are always with them. If the ballot box, they can put their seals on it. If the vehicle that we are conveying the materials with, they will come, when you lock, they also lock it. We'll go to the police army. When we put our lock there, they also put their lock there. When we are distributing, you take the serial numbers and so when they say that the election has been rigged, and then you yourself you begin to doubt, is it the same election that I was part of? That is what I've grown to appreciate that I don't have to fight the politicians. I should concentrate on doing what is right and let them say what they say. I don't have they themselves know the truth. That is the issue.
All right.
At least for today, Mustafa, this is the first time I meet him on the platform. And here, even though he will run, but you come and appreciate that you've done a good job. So thank you for coming.
All right, so folks, this is a pause here on Joy News. Yes, Evans, okay, I'll give you just 30 seconds before I'll take a short break and come back to wrap up the show.
All right, thank you very much for this opportunity. So as Kofi said, throughout 2012, there could be arrangements. If you are not careful, your victory will be stolen. And New Patriotic Party, we've had history. We said the 1992 elections, our victory was stolen. In 1996, if you remember, Amu Rebecca Adote, transpositional error, the win was given to Rebecca Adote, but the court settled it. We came all through to 2012. We saw the polling station, the hand of God, and 27-0. And you see, you've gotten to the stage where political parties and their agents are giving copies of the pin sheets, and power voter tabulation is allowed. And New Patriotic Party, we've devised a system where we are able to know our results from all the 38,622 polling stations. Well, going to 2024, the EC has notified us that they are likely to add about 4,000 more polling stations. We are putting in place mechanisms to ensure that our votes from each of the polling stations will be counted for us. And so we don't pay particular attention as to who the presiding officer is, because when people are voting, the over 18.7 million people who will be turning out to vote will make a decision, and their decision will favor His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the next president. So that's what we look out for.
All right. We'll take a short break and return with the final comment from our guests. This is the Pulse on Joy News. Welcome back. This is the Pulse here on Joy News with me, Elton Brobe, and of course my guest. We are having our own version of an IPAC meeting here in the studios of Joy News. And of course, Dr. Sebo Kweku is Director of Electoral Services with the Electoral Commission. Mr. Akufo-Addo is a fan of the LPG party. Mustafa Gbambe is Deputy General Secretary of the NDs. And of course, Evans Namako is the Director of Elections with the NPP. And he is on Zoom as we do this discussion. So a few questions I want to ask as we wrap up. Dr. Sebo, is there going to be a special call to deal with electoral matters ahead of December?
Court or
court? I mean,
for that one, that will come from the judiciary. I'm not aware of that.
You're not aware of anything like that? I remember when the first 2 days we had issues that we had to do offline registration. You yourself expressed concerns with the difficulty we're going to have in terms of people doing multiple registration. Have you investigated or as part of the numbers that you are going to do?
That's what I'm saying, that the team that is supposed to do the adjudication, they will fish it out from the system. They are going to do that before we will sit on them. So till they finish, I wouldn't know the number that the system has flagged. But automatically, the flagging of the people.
And somebody sent me a text. He says that he's followed elections since 1992. During that period, he used to see the Electoral Commission provide the parties with vehicles and other materials to campaign, but he's not been seeing that lately.
You see, previously we used to have a lot of donor support. And the donor, some of them will come, like, take this vehicle and give to political parties. They said that we have grown enough, so they are now giving attention to other countries where their democracy is young. So we don't get those facilities. So if you take the 2020 election, for example, it was 100% state-sponsored. and they still will not have resources to give to political parties.
So the EC is not providing any support?
It's not us. It's the donors who give it out through us. Well, they just a conveyor belt. So if you get them, but I think since '96 we have never gotten that.
And are you getting your budgetary allocations released on time?
As for budget, we don't have. The timing, I can't be 100% sure. At least whatever we need, if they are giving to us as and when. For example, you are doing registration, so you give your budget for registration, and they will release the money.
But I'm sure you have an idea how much it will cost us to run the 2024 elections.
I was part of the team that prepared it, but I don't have it offhand.
Mustafa, as we wrap up.
As we wrap up, basically, I think that the NDC's desire, contrary to what our brothers in the MPP are thinking, is that...
So when the two of them, can't they do their presentation without attacking each other?
We only want a free
Tom and Jerry
and fair election. The NDC is not craving for an electoral commission that will support us to win an election. It's our duty. We've been beaten twice, 2016, 2020. And we've decided that the circumstances we find ourselves, where Ghanaians are generally calling for a change, that change should land on the NDC. That is our duty as a political party. The Electoral Commission has a mandate to supervise midwife processes that will birth a new government for the Republic of Ghana.
Right.
There's peace and stability of our country from now to December 7th and to 10th depends on the Electoral Commission. We as political parties will play rules, but it keenly depends on the Electoral Commission. We only want the Commission to allow its work reflect the will, mandate of the people. Engagement, collaboration, cooperation is what can give us this particular mandate. And I think that they
but from what we've seen and the assurances from Dr. Sribo, it doesn't look like they can in any way influence the outcome of the elections.
Again, the Electoral Commission doesn't need to give anybody an assurance. The Electoral Commission has minimal use of discretionary power, and so assurance is not needed. The only thing that we require from the Electoral Commission is to do good by the law and strictly by the law. If the Electoral Commission is going by the law and what the law says, NPP cannot prevail on the Electoral Commission to back down. NDC cannot do same. LPG cannot do same. And then we would be having a firm Electoral Commission. But circumstances where you find that things are not in the open, they are in the dark, they put MPP appointees into commission and all of that. I expected Dr. Slibo to object to Nanado's appointment of Apiahene, the director of operation, IT, into the commission. But they didn't do that.
He doesn't have the power.
He's not director for IT.
So
Dr. Apiahene is not director for IT.
He's a commissioner.
Yes,
he's a commissioner.
They do different.
But you agree that he's a political party appointee? I'm telling you now.
Okay, you are saying
these are the issues that raises the suspicion. If we can have a body devoid of all these political, political and attractions and stuff,
it should be good.
The NDC is good to go, but we are prepared. We built our system. We are training our agents. We have officers who are well positioned to be vigilant enough to ensure that even if the commission doesn't or is reluctant doing its work, we should be able to remind them of what the law says and what is required of them. I think that
Mr. Akufo-Addo, yes,
we are good.
Oh yeah, we are expecting a credible election in the 2024. We don't expect anything different from that because we believe that the Electoral Commission will do their best to make the process
free and fair.
And something happened in the 2020 election. Somebody was tearing this in the ballot paper, and then he was removing Akufo-Addo. Yeah, it happened at 3 places.
Right.
Binduri.
Okay.
Binduri, and then instead of, Akufo-Addo was first and Mahama second and so on. When he was tearing the paper, it's like they were leaving Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
So
those
things need to be avoided. So it means that they have to train the people very, very well. and also.
I don't it's about training. If the person wants to be that body car,
you'll be that.
Apart from that, sometimes people must also know the consequences
of their actions.
Because other than that, they will go on and do whatever. So such people, we have to inform them that they can be arrested for such conduct.
Offenses.
So
I think even the sound code of conduct, we take them through all these things. But like I said, even if you have not been trained at all, wouldn't you know that the ballot paper should contain a name that you should leave some?
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Evans Nimako, just 30 seconds. Okay, so I think we'll leave it here. My guest has been the Director of Electoral Services with the Electoral Committee, Dr. Sribo Kweku, Mustafa Gbam, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Kofi Apalu of the LPG, and of course, Evans Nimako with the MPP Director of Elections. For more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com. Of course, those are the stories. Ato Forsen is requesting live telecast of proceedings in the ambulance case, the matter between him, the Attorney General, and Japa. My name is Elton Brobe. Have a good evening.